into a long this one. Let's take just one piece. Banks made their money on what we called payment transactions, because in the payment transaction, you had a float. The float, you didn't pay interest. And that was a large part of what you lent, and that earned your returns. So that float has virtually vanished, because with the UPI and the payment systems that we have today, it is straight through. So the bank doesn't have a float. So there is disruption in one key area of banking. And of course, then you will look out for what are the other key areas. For example, just one more area, lending. Lending to the retail public. Again, what the Honorable Minister put out earlier in today, just 2 sessions back, where he said that common street vendor now gets funding, all through a digital platform. So again, the retail side of the business is, I would think today, in the hands of digital players. So if the banks don't correct on these two, one, you don't correct on your payment architecture, and B, you don't correct on your retail lending architecture, you are then left with possibly only the corporate. But the corporate also is going to go to the capital market. So banks could be under threat unless they reinvent themselves. But I'm sure they will.
So the biggest story out of India's financial markets, it's recently hit the 4th level globally. But what is this good news for the banks? Because again, people would want to invest more in the markets, so there will be less savings. What is your take on that?
No, I think savings can be in several ways. Savings could be through a bank account. So the bank deposit savings could be through a mutual fund account. And savings could be through long-term savings, through your pension and or your insurance that you put in. So, and all these are holistically required, in a holistic way, required for a country to grow. You can't just have bank deposits, because the nature of bank deposits is short-term. Short-term doesn't really lend itself to, funding long-term projects. So you have a basic conflict. So to lend long-term projects, you require long-term funding, and that comes from pension and insurance and the mutual fund route via the equity and so on. And that's now happening. And that's growing at actually at a pace faster than banks. So this is again a shift that is happening, which is good for the country, because you'll get the type of funds that you require for growth, and not just end up having short-term funds, which when you lend for long-term, creates an imbalance, as it were. Or in banking parlance, we call it an ALM mismatch. So I think things are happening in a very holistic way now, and which again gives me confidence that 8% plus growth, plus is digital, should be achievable.
So artificial intelligence is a huge buzzword worldwide, but for the banking system, it's a mix of good and bad, because just as a lot of the banking work and interfaces are going to be automated, I believe there will be also job erosions. How is our Indian banking system adapting to AI?
That's an interesting question, because I thought the same thing 25 years back. So we built a lot of back offices, because you said the branch is not going to do the work, the back offices will do the work. And within 5 years, the branch didn't do the work. We thought the back office would do the work. The back office didn't do the work. It became straight through. Because when you transacted your, what you transacted hit your account, and then basically the account got squared up. So you did not need a back office to do the work for you. And so this is natural progression. And in all this, the banking employment has not stopped, has not come down. It's only increasing. Banking attrition has not stopped. It is now 20-25%. So you need more people as you go along. And when we imagine in India today, which is a 4 trillion economy, and just imagine it at 8 trillion, your banking needs are not going to double. They're going to probably triple. And then you take one more turn from 8 to 16, you can imagine the sort of change that's required. And the change is not linear. This is just doubling of GDP, but the actual requirement of effort in terms of banking, in terms of technology, people, is probably going to be 3x at each turn. So I think there's going to be a huge driver here.
So the next decade, I mean, how are Indians going to bank? Because, is it entirely going to be a digital experience? How are we going to become financially inclusive through the digital play?
I think it's going to be almost entirely digital. I can't see anybody going into a branch to withdraw money anymore. It will be a digital experience. I would dare say that you will not even go to an ATM to withdraw money we talk of 5 to 7 years from now, your wallet is your phone is your instrument for transaction. And it is not just banking. The entire financial services play is going to be on this. Whether it's your mutual fund, whether it is your insurance, or whether it's your pension, everything will be in your
In the NSE/BSE listed realty sector, KBC Global Limited is showing signs of a bullish opportunity. After a share correction, a significant surge could be on the horizon. Keep track of this share, which is available at a price lower than its book value, and subscribe to the channel for updates.
बादल यहाँ पे हैं मुस्कुराते, उन संग चले।
हर फ्यूचर की कहीं ना कहीं तो शुरुआत होती है। एक ऐसे ही फ्यूचर की शुरुआत हो रही है अब जियो बीपी के साथ, जहां आपको मिलेगा 4.3% तक ज्यादा माइलेज देने वाला डीजल और 10 गुना तक इंजन क्लीन रखने वाला पेट्रोल, साथ ही ईवी चार्जिंग, 24/7 शॉप, वाई बीन कैफे और बहुत कुछ। जियो बीपी, यू डिजर्व मोर।
corporates have clean balance sheets. 150, the top 150 corporates have no debt in this country. Banks have clean balance sheets. Nowhere in the world, I'll repeat it, nowhere in the world today do you have banks with as clean balance sheets as we. NPAs less than 0.5% and capital adequacy of 17 to 18%. Nowhere. I don't see a shortage, particularly when we grow at 8% plus.
So artificial intelligence, digital India, very good news for the Indian economy, and we are doing a couple of things right. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. K.V. Kamath.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamath. That was really an insightful look into the future of Indian private banking and the contours ahead. We're now moving into our next session, and we've got time for the Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, here with us. Mr. Puri is the change maker of New Bharat. He's setting a new pace, and one that has taken India out of the era of policy paralysis to delivering the reality of deliveries in record time. From reshaping urban Bharat to building the Bharatiya cities of tomorrow, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri has been a trailblazer that has simply ensured that Bharat gets it done. Today, the Honorable Minister will be delivering his insightful vision statement on setting a new pace and how India's pace in decision-making and precision in execution will shape the decade ahead of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the agent of change, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri.
The sustainable development goals will do well because India will do well, and because India will do well, the SDGs will do well. Today you have demonstrated, and this I think is a very great quality of the